Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to be giving you some tips or things that you could buy if you're a beginner. I know some of my friends have asked me, oh well, what can I use for my eyebrows, or what do you suggest for a palette if I'm starting and I want to get into makeup and learn how to do makeup. So today I am going to be giving you and showing you guys a few of the palettes that I think will work for a beginner. So let's go ahead and get started. So as far as the face, I'm gonna go step by step just how I do it, what I use and to prep my skin, or primers and for the eyes, etc. So usually I like to prep my skin with the Farsali, and these are $20, or you could get the full size. I know they're a little bit expensive, but this is what I use to hydrate my skin, just because it's a little bit tacky. And this is the Farsali Unicorn Essence, but a really good primer that it's really inexpensive. It's the No Pore Blend Primer. This is by Touch and Soul. This primer is a really good primer. It's only about $18.99, I believe, so you could get it at Sephora. And this primer is a really good primer. It'll smooth out everything, and it'll give you a more nice base once you apply your foundation. As far as foundation, I would suggest you go into Sephora, like I've mentioned in the past video, to go into Sephora and get samples of what of the foundations you would like to try. Me personally, I tried about every foundation that's in Sephora, and not all of them I like, just because they're either too dark, or they look too orange on me, or they just look too oily on me. They don't sit well with my skin. So if you guys want to try any of these foundations, I'll give you guys my favorite foundations that I like. So one of them is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is a really good foundation. This is gonna set in your skin. This is a matte finish, but it lasts so long and it makes your skin look so flawless, super flawless. So this is one that I will recommend if you want to go ahead and try it out. Another one that I would suggest that you try is this Cover FX. This is a oil-free foundation. So this one gives you a nice airbrush look as well, and they're very inexpensive. This is a 1 ounce, and this one runs about, I believe, $30. So if you want to go ahead and try this one's neither too matte or too dewy. It's right in the middle. This one is created by dermatologists. So if I recommend anything from inside the store would be inside of Sephora, is to try Cover FX foundation, because they're oil free and they're a very good brand when it comes to foundation. And now let's go ahead and get started with eyebrows. So I did an eyebrow tutorial. I know I said I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, but if you're a beginner, you don't want to go with this because this is a little bit too harsh and more pigmented. I would suggest you try the Brow Wiz, or you could try the NYX. NYX has the same, and it's for half of the price. I believe it's like $8.99. If you go into Ulta, they have the one similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. And also you could get, Ulta always has $3 off or $5 off, I believe, out of your $15 purchase. So that's a really good way to try the product, and you could get a little bit of a discount when you buy anything at Ulta. And as far as priming your eyes, you could use 2 different ways to prep your eyes. Normally I use, if I want to, I guess, I use either my concealer or my paint pot. This is the MAC Soft Ochre by MAC. And if I'm feeling too lazy, I'll just go ahead and apply my Shape Tape all over my eyelid and set it with the translucent powder. Or if I'm in the mood and I'm not rushing, I'll go ahead and apply my soft ochre. This one's gonna give you a tacky base so that your powders could stick to this and they don't fade. So I would say for prepping your eyelid, you could go either way. There's no wrong to doing makeup. Just like I said, as you're going, you're gonna learn what works for you. For me, I like the Shape Tape and the soft ochre base to apply my shadows on top of that. And as far as palettes, I also did mention in my previous video that for a beginner's palette, you would, if you wanted to buy anything, if you're a beginner, to go into the Kylie Cosmetics website and purchase the bronze palette. That palette, I really enjoy it. I recommend it. It's all neutral colors. I don't think you could go wrong with that palette, just because you could go either very neutral or very dramatic with the palette. And right now she's been having a lot of sales, so this is why I'm coming out and telling you guys what you guys should buy if you guys are starting to do makeup, because you could try out so many things for value size. So if you want to try out blushes, like for example, if you want to try the Tarte blushes, you could go into Sephora or Ulta and you'll get 6 little travel size for like $35. So you'll get all different types of shades. So enough of that rambling. So let's jump into palettes. So when I started doing makeup, I didn't know what palette to purchase when I was a beginner, because there was so many things out there that you could get overwhelmed with all the stuff that you see at Ulta, or with all the stuff that you see at Sephora, or people reviewing all these types of palettes. But when I started, I wanted to start with very, very basic colors, just because I was scared to try more darker shades. So when I started, my first ever palette that I bought was the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I've had this for 5 years, and it's a very natural palette. You have very neutrals, you have your neutrals, you have some color, you have bronze, and you have a brow bone, but mine broke, and brow bone highlight, I'm sorry. But this one was one of my first palettes that I bought, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this palette when I first purchased it. It was one of my favorite palettes, just because, like I said, I was getting into makeup. I wanted to learn how to blend in colors. So when I started, this is what I started with. And as well, Too Faced has been having a lot of sales, or you could sign up for email sign up and you'll get a 10 or 15 on your first purchase, I believe. Another one that I bought when I was starting makeup, this is a very old but goodie, I should say, and it's the Lorac Pro palette. Mine is really beat up, but this is another palette that one of the few first palettes that I bought. And this one it gives you 8 mattes, 8 shimmers. So as well, it gives you light and dark, and you could create endless looks with this one. If you are planning to, I know they have a few Lorac Pro palettes out there, but I would suggest you get this one, just because, like I said, this one you could create endless looks. It has your golds, your purples, your dark browns. So this is a really good one as well. Another one that I recommend is also by Lorac, and this is the Lorac Sip palette. This is if I were to tell you to purchase any of the palettes that I'm gonna mention today, I would say to definitely purchase this one. This one gives you three glitter, three satin finish, and three mattes, and this one as well. And this palette is a really good palette. It's a more like warm tones, but like I said, it gives you that dark brown to create a more smoky outlook or darker look, as well as it gives you the lighter shades that could be used in the eyelid, and it will give you a really nice look. So this one I would really recommend as well. If you want to, like I said, if you're starting to do makeup, this is another one that I recommend. And the last palette that I'm going to be showing you guys, this one, I can't tell you guys how much I enjoyed this palette when I first bought mine. It lived up to its standards and to the hype. So this one is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. This is by Tarte, and this palette is just a beauty. This is the concept of this palette that I like about this palette is that if you're a beginner, it's very easy to use. Let's say you want to go for more of a natural look. Well, guess what? You're gonna put this as your transition, inner corner, or in the crease, outer corner, and your eyelid. So this is how this palette works. I love the Tartelette palettes because they're very easy to use. It's just self-explanatory. It gives you your transition, your crease color, your outer crease, and your eyelid color. So this one is a very good one. So this one is, I believe, $40, and honestly, I think if you're a beginner, you would love this palette as much as I did and as much as I have, because it's just amazing. The colors are really good. They blend very easily. It's not gonna give you any trouble. So out of all the 4 palettes that I've mentioned, if you are a beginner, like I said, you might want to purchase either the Lorac or the Tartelette palette. These two are my favorite out of the 4 that I've mentioned, or the 5 including the Kylie. I would say one of these 2 would be your best choice, just because the colors in the palettes are very neutral, and you can't go wrong with these palettes. I think that if you're into the natural look eye looks, I think these 2 will do it for you. And now for concealer. For concealer, if you want to try a concealer it's very inexpensive, and you want to try out concealers, I would really recommend for you to try out the Maybelline New York. This is the Fit Me concealer. These concealers are very good concealers from the drugstore. Each one runs about $8.99, but again, if you go into Ulta, you could get that coupon, and sometimes Ulta has buy one get one free, or buy one get one 50% off. So these concealers are very good. Actually, I would compare it to maybe the Tarte or the Urban Decay one, the Urban Decay concealer, because they're that good. These concealers are very good. As far as for bronzing, I know a lot of people don't like to bronze because they look too orangey, or they just don't like it because it's too orange or too cool tone or whatnot. But as far as bronzing, one of the bronzers that I suggest that will work out almost any skin tone is this Give Me Some by MAC. This one was also one of the first bronzers I've ever purchased when I started getting into makeup. I was a little bit scared just because it looked too orange, and obviously I'm dark. I was, when I first started using it, I was scared that it would look too muddy on my skin, but it actually ended up looking really good. It's a very, I mean, you can't see, but it's in between a cool and a warm tone. I think it's just perfect. It's right in the middle. And this is what I would recommend for bronzer. And to contour, that's another thing people are scared to use because they say, oh, well, it looks too muddy on me. It just, I don't like the way of contouring. It's gives me that muddy look. But you have to find the correct shade for you. This is a mistake that most people do, is that what they see things and they think that, oh, well, that contour shade looks good on her, it's gonna look good on me. But no, we all have different we all have different color skin tone, so therefore we have to go with what works for us. And for that, for the contour, I've tried the Anastasia and I liked it at first, but again, it was one of those things that, oh, well, it looks too muddy on me. I didn't like how it looked on me until I discovered the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This palette, I cannot emphasize how much I love this contour palette. I live for this palette. I already hit pan on this one, and I love this palette so much because it gives you a lighter color, a darker color, and then a more darker for deeper skin tones. So this palette now, Kat Von D, she makes the little inserts, and she has different shades. But this is the old version of her palette. But this palette is life. I love this palette. I love how this looks on me when I contour. It doesn't make me look muddy or anything like that. It looks really good on me, and it's very easy to blend as well. It's not patchy. Once you apply it, it doesn't go patchy. I know some colors, when you're contouring, it gives you that patchy eye look. This one doesn't. So if you want to splurge on a contour palette, I would really recommend you splurge on this. And they also have these at TJ Maxx. I saw this palette for $26.99. So you could find them at Nordstrom's, TJ Maxx, or Marshall's, because now they carry them. I believe she's trying to get rid of the old packaging, and she's selling them for $26. So if you want to try this palette, go ahead and run into your nearest TJ Maxx, Marshalls, or Nordstrom's, and you might get lucky and you might find it there. So as far as brushes, I know brushes is a very hard thing when you're starting, because a lot of these brushes, for example, the good brushes like MAC, those are very pricey. They're on the pricier tag. But if you're starting, I would suggest you go into the Morphe website and buy yourself some Morphe brushes. They're not gonna last you a very long time, but it'll do the job. They're only $5. There's some that are $3. So these are gonna do the job. They're very good, actually. I've had this one for like 2 years and it's still going strong. But like I said, if you're a beginner and you don't want to invest too much into brushes, go ahead into the Morphe website and you could purchase them there, or you could go into the Makeup Shack if you live in the Orange County area, and you could also go ahead and I'm sorry, Makeup Shack doesn't have Morphe anymore, but you could purchase them online. And I would recommend these if you're starting, because they're gonna do the job and it's not gonna hurt you to spend $5. I do recommend later on, once you start, if makeup is something that you like and you know you started trying out things, I do recommend for you to invest in some brushes. And I love MAC brushes because these are made with real hair, so these are gonna last you longer than these are. But if you're starting, like I said, you want to go in with the cheaper one. So that is it, you guys, for today. That's all I have for you guys. As far as highlighters, I know highlighters it's hard to find a good highlighter, especially from the drugstore. If you're a beginner, you want to try a highlighter that's gonna work for you. But I have two highlighters that me personally I've tried and I've liked and I've enjoyed. And this one is by Maybelline. This is the Master Chrome. This one is a very gold and it's very metallic, but this one is a really good highlighter. If you could see right there, it's a really good highlighter, and for $5 it's very inexpensive. The quality is there. You can't go wrong with this highlighter if you're a beginner. It's more of a gold tone, but again, it's gonna look good on the skin. Another one that I do recommend is the Milani highlighters. This one's more subtle than this one. This one's gives you more of a high shine versus this one, but this one's also a really good one. This is by Milani and this is a strobe light. So this is more of a subtle highlight. If I could compare this one, I would compare it with the ambient lighting hourglass powders. This is more of a subtle highlight. It's not too brightening. I know some of you guys might like the bright highlight on your cheekbones, or you guys don't like that. So that's why I gave you the two options. This is a more beaming, this one's more subtle, and both of them are really inexpensive. This one's actually cheaper than this one. This one's $8.99 and this one's $4.99. So just like I said, go into your local drugstore and you could find these there. So that is it, you guys, for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and that this video was helpful for you guys. And let me know what you guys like to see, or what do you guys think, or what you guys want me to try out. I really enjoy trying out new products, so if there's anything that you guys would want me to try for you guys, just let me know down in the comment section down below. And without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.